We are recording. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Hello and welcome to the Waldo Tower Neighborhood Association General Meeting. This is our last general meeting for the year. We will be meeting again in January next time. So this is the last meeting that we'll have here in the library for 2025. Just a little bit of housekeeping. My name is Angie Lyle. For those of you who don't know, I'm the president right now. Emily, standing in the back, is our president for 2026. And then we have our membership committee here. If you want to talk about membership, maybe raise your hand for membership committee. Great. And then membership committee is really busy planning all kinds of fun events for 2026. So if you like planning fun events for the neighborhood, and it's not just fun, we do, well, I don't want to say volunteering is not fun, but volunteering is fun. So volunteering is a lot of what we do. But we also do happy hours. As a matter of fact, we have our last happy hour of the year on December 2nd. We'll be at the Piano Room, which is just right here at 75th and Mornell, more on the 75th side. And then we'll have it catered by Salome Rose. They do charcuterie boards, so who's also located in the same area. So that's going to be a fun event. You'll need to RSVP so we have enough food and drinks for everybody. And then I think that's really it for events right now, other than the January meeting. So if you guys have ideas for things you'd like to talk about at our general meetings, please let us know. We're always open to having guests in. Today we're supposed to have Darius Diamond. He's not here yet. He's the attorney from the mayor's office. He was going to speak to, oh, there you are, Darius. He's going to be speaking to the city's efforts to kind of take back the Robison property and what that entails. So I think that's going to be very interesting. And then we're going to hear about some volunteer opportunities with schools around the neighborhood. And then if you brought food to donate and you want to be entered to win our fancy little gift bag from the Kansas City Library, there's some signed books in here, or a signed book. I think the Condoleezza Rice book is signed. And then there's a coffee mug and some stickers and fun stuff in here. So you can fill out a little card and enter to win that. And we'll do the drawing at the end of our meeting. All right, so Frank, there he is. Do you want to come up and talk a little bit about the membership? Let me give you my extra microphone.
Sure, thank you.
It has a little magnetic thing. You can just hold it?
Yeah, I'll just do that.
All right.
Good morning. My name is Frank Serino. I'm the Director of Marketing here with Waldo Tower. I appreciate everybody coming today. Quick question. Who here is a member of the association? Just raise your hand.
Woo.
Wow, great.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows about the membership card, right, that we offer for local Waldo businesses. I just want to let you know that we're working on the 2026 card right now, trying to bring back the same Waldo businesses that we love to support. They're very generous in their offers with discounts. Anybody have a favorite discount that they use? They just couldn't live without? Anything you have in mind? Just Betty Ray's.
Yeah, Waldo Pizza, Joe Vito's.
Hardware store, Joe Vito's. Waldo Pizza. So I'm working with all of those folks. There's some really good ones. For me personally, the best one was at Firestone for a $15.99 oil change. Now that was a conventional oil change. I can confirm that next year they're going to offer $25 off any oil change.
Wow.
Fully synthetic, semi-synthetic, and conventional. $25 off next year. So make sure you renew your membership cards. We're doing it right now. If you're not a member, if you join between now and the end of the year, we'll let you have the 2025 card, help you get through the holidays, save money, but we'll also give you the 2026 card too.
It's a deal.
Filled with lots of discounts. Just using it one time, your membership is 25 or 20 depending on your age. Using it one time pays for that card, and it's good every single day of the year, multiple times a day. If you want to eat at Waldo Pizza 3 pizzas a day, you're going to get the discount every single pizza, every day, all day. So please take advantage of that. If you have suggestions, if you have a business, please let us know. We want to include you in our card. It's for you, but it's also for the businesses because we love Waldo. So any questions, just ask me, ask Angie or any of the board members. We'll be happy to help you out, okay? Thank you, guys.
It's awesome. Thank you, Frank. I love Waldo Pizza myself. Jovito's. I love all of them. Yeah, the Waldo Cafe is also on it. So.
Waldo Cafe gave us the discount for the cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, they're a good business. Please consider patronizing those businesses. They keep our neighborhoods really strong, and they help our relationship between businesses and residents. That's what we like to see in this little tight-knit community of ours. All right, so without further ado, I'll invite Mr. Diamond, Darius, please, to come up and help. This is a little microphone lapel
Cool.
with a magnet on the back.
Fancy.
I know, I'm so fancy. Got it? Perfect.
Great.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be talking about Robison. I moved here just about 3 months ago, and so this is my first big project, and it seems like it's an important one. The property has been vacant for 20 years. Speak louder. Sorry. Yeah. Property's been vacant for 20 years, been falling apart. It's in a great location for being a good community resource center. And so being able to figure out a tool to not have the city take it, but to have the property be activated was something that was very excited for me. I can give an update in terms of what the property is currently undergoing. The tool has worked. The current property owner is taking material steps to be able to demolish what's currently there and then activate the property afterwards. Receivership as a tool isn't for the city to say, hey, this is mine now and we're going to do something with it. It's to say, hey, developer, either do something or we'll find someone who will. The developer has decided to say, okay, fine, all right, I'll do something, and so now he's doing something. Because he's doing something now, the city would not be able to continue going through with receivership, because one of the prongs for receivership is that no lawful business activity is undergoing. Now it is. The other thing, though, that's become a factor in this equation is the Marlborough Community Association. They have control over an urban renewal area, which gives them the power to do eminent domain or condemnation. So by the city saying, we'll do receivership if nothing happens, we've then pushed 2 different parties to try and get something to happen in Robison. That's the purpose of the receivership tool, is to get something to happen. But that's kind of where we are. The developer is doing something and some other organization might be doing something as well. Now the city is standing back and making sure that the progress is ongoing. And I'm here to answer any questions.
Oh, hold on, let me give you a microphone. Sorry. It's tiny.
So there were back taxes on that property. I believe it was at least 3 years behind because it was poised to be put on the auction block, so to speak. Can you confirm that those were caught up? And then also, could you say more about what it means to have an active business there and has he pulled a permit for the demolition? Like, is it active?
Yes. So relating to the back taxes, I can confirm that he paid the minimum to avoid the tax sale, but he still has delinquent taxes on the property. In terms of what it means to have a active business there, it's having active lawful business activities there. So as the property owner, part of the business activities is to begin the demolishing process. So that is what would qualify. You could argue to a court that that's not business activity, but then that becomes litigation. And he has gotten a permit for the demolition. And he's also contracted with the company.
All right.
And so what is the accountability metric for the receivership? Like at what point, if he stops demolition or if there's an extended pause in the work, how does the city hold him accountable?
If he stops activity, then the city can move forward with the receivership process. We can then file the petition. We can then find a receiver who can then undertake what we need to do with the property.
And what's the timeline?
The timeline for that, so when you file the petition, you then have to wait 60 days to then go to court. Then that court process can probably take between a month or 2, and so about 5 to 6 months for the process to begin.
Do you have a question, Frank?
So when the developer announced his plan and came here and talked to us about that, I think it was a 3 or 4 phase plan, He was not going to demolish the whole building at one time. It was a phased-in demolition that would take years to complete. That is completely unacceptable. He's left that property in complete disarray for at least 8 years, and I live within 200 yards of that building. He needs to demolish it now, and the city needs to, if they have to, and you should, do the litigation to force that to happen. That should be the first and only thing that happens, is that building is raised and that ground is leveled so that it's no longer an eyesore or a site for criminal activity. Are you prepared to do that?
We are very prepared to do that. The mayor's office and the city are very dedicated to making sure this property finally has something happening. The demolition process cannot take years. It needs to happen quickly. We're working with the Marlborough Community Association to make sure that if the receivership is not the proper tool, that they can use condemnation to then make it happen.
Okay, our question's over here.
So after it's demolished, I mean, what happens then is, if he paid his taxes and it's demolished, is there no other action for the city to do because, it's not, or is someone obligated to then develop the property? Like, how does that work after demolition is over?
After demolition, the current understanding is that he has plans to build a community resource center, athletic field, infill housing. We'll see if that happens. If he demolishes the building and then nothing happens, just a vacant property, then receivership still remains an option, because a vacant property in this area would qualify legally for receivership.
Okay, I'm going to give the mic to you.
What would the timeline be on the urban renewal option for Marlborough?
So that timeline, eminent domain, condemnation, equivalent terms, that could take anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, depending on how hard the current property owner fights.
Has any developer spoken about their plans? We talk about home ownership, or we talk about Section 8 rentals?
I'm not sure if he's planning between Section 8 or home ownership. I know the term that he uses infill housing, and I know that the athletic fields are required, and the community resource required to be accessible to low-income youth. And so it seems to be an affordable housing segment.
Okay, so I live right behind Waldo Towers, okay? I can't tell you how many gunshots I hear a night, okay? That's what happens when you have subsidized housing. What plans does the city have to police it or upgrade so that I don't have another gunshot? And people have been killed. I had somebody killed 100 feet from my door. And guess what? No one, like most murders in Kansas City, no one's been arrested. So that's what I'm looking at. I'd like to have, the city, I don't know, legally you can do this, but have it where it's at least home ownership, if not no subsidies.
Gunshots in your backyard are always a frightening thing, and I do want to, emphasize that. We're not ignoring the fact that, if there is danger, then the city will do something. The city is frequently investing in programs to ensure that people do not resort to violence, that there's proper conflict resolution practices, that they have the resources they need to not fall into those patterns. And so in terms of what the city is doing, we're doing everything we can to stop violence from happening.
Okay, well, that isn't working very well. We have high murder rates we've ever had. Okay.
That's not necessarily true based on the data.
If you live close to these areas, but you don't live way out in Johnson County, you're a fool if you're not armed. Now, I don't know. Cities doesn't seem to have all kinds of wimpy stuff about disarming people or whatever. Okay, my thought on that, if the gangbangers aren't disarming, I'm not either.
Oh, we do have a question here.
More specific to the Robison. I just want to ask you to clarify that timeline you shared. I'm not sure I followed it exactly. You mentioned some months. I think the question is, if the demolition moves forward but nothing else, what is the timeline by which the city would then reconsider whether this is moving forward? And you probably know at this point that so Waldo Tower is the other neighborhood that is in the community benefits agreement. So I'll, as a board member for the next 45 days, I want to point out that this organization should also be involved in those conversations about all pathways. But we have a solid understanding that this particular developer does not actually have the resources or the infrastructure from a business perspective to make any of his plans move forward. We're impatient. certainly happy to see the demolition activity taken care of so that there isn't a space for unwelcome activities to take place. But then having a green field cannot last very long.
In terms of the timeline, if the city were to reconsider the receivership because the current developer is unable or unwilling and just doesn't fulfill their plans, to get the city to start the receivership process, that can happen within a single week of being able to file the ordinance to say, city manager, start the receivership process, and then you get into the litigation process of the 5 to 6 months.
Do you need organizations like Waldo Tower as well as Marlborough to continue to engage and say, do that now? Right, it's been 4 months, it's been 6 months. I think that's what we're looking for, is a clear understanding that this owner is now engaging after all of these years because he's been backed into a corner, but that there's still going to be accountability that says you haven't done anything in 4 months, you haven't done anything in 6 months. We're not really looking for another year-long process of waiting and updates of, and because it sounds to me like without moving forward with the receivership process, you don't have a mechanism by which you can direct or expect a written business plan with business partners, execution timelines, investors, correct? And that's, I think, what we're looking for, is that concrete, this is how the process is going to happen, these are the phases, these are the investors, this is how much money I have, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
Right. I understand that the desire for that kind of concrete plan. Receivership isn't necessarily the process that would enable that plan to come from the city. Receivership is more just, it's the force of a push.
I do understand. The receivership process, though, through the courts can demand that, which is why it needs to move forward in a reasonable timeline.
Right. If, what would be helpful from the community associations is to be a monitor in this circumstance. Because the receivership process is not started, the city can't necessarily monitor what's going on in the property. And so if there is information that comes from neighborhood associations saying nothing is happening, that can give us the information needed to be able to file in court.
Okay, I have a question over here.
Who makes that decision to pull the trigger on receivership at City Hall? Is there a person, or who does that?
So receivership is initiated by the city manager, and then the city council can force the city manager to take that action.
Okay, let me get over here.
What we're asking, I believe, is to make sure that this group, as well as Marlborough, be included in any and all decisions regarding this. And that's what I think that we're trying to push for, too, to make sure that we have the information and the knowledge of what's happening.
And my understanding is the Marlborough is the primary source of contact because they do have that special ability in their area. They've got, what's it called? The
urban renewal area.
Urban renewal area. It's an area that gives them the power to have those conversations more than our neighborhood.
But we can stand behind them.
Definitely, we do support what they want.
And whatever activity the city engages with the property, we have required the city manager to ensure that the community is involved in any decisions being made about what happens on the property.
It's the question of the knowledge
Right.
and when we're included.
Correct. In terms of, yeah.
So from a what we can do standpoint, the monitoring, what is the best way to communicate those observations? 311, emails, contacting specific people at the city?
311 is a great option. Emailing city council through their public information email address would be very helpful, being able to say, hey, because we all get those emails. I read those emails every time it's sent. When we get that email, we're now put on alert of what's happening. And so if we get a couple of emails saying nothing's happening, then we can go and investigate.
Mm-hmm. Another question up here. Steps today.
I appreciate you being here on a Saturday, both with your time and suiting up on a Saturday is, we're lucky. So I just wanted to ask more about like how this tool might be able, the receivership tool might be able to be used for other properties, and is that something that you're working on in terms of other projects, and is it limited to commercial spaces?
It is not limited to commercial spaces. We are looking at other properties that this could be used for. Receivership was not used in this way. This was I brought this to the city. The tool existed long beforehand, but before this it was used for usually single-family homes for smaller scale projects. And then seeing that there were these long, vacant, unused properties that were massive, the tool, there's no reason you can't use it for that tool. And so I've been going around to different city council members asking, hey, what properties are in your property or in your districts that will enable us to use this tool? And so I have a list that I'm going to be going through soon. If you all have a list, you could send that. I'll be giving you my email, and you can just send it my way. I can read them and I'll look through them. The legal test for whether a property is eligible for receivership, it has to be vacant and it has to be blighted. It is vacant if no one has lived there for an extended period of time lawfully, or if there's been no lawful business activity there for an extended period of time.
What do you know about the BrandSmart building? Everybody's complained about that for I've been on this board for well over 20 years, and it's been it's not blighted because he's always working on it, but yeah, what do you know about that building?
I don't know much about that building, so I'd be very
we'll
curious
have
to hear about it.
conversation, I'm sure. It is the perfect example of what you were saying.
That is a very savvy property owner, and it has legal active business activity all the time. So it's just outside of our reach for those sorts of things.
I see.
Yep.
That's unfortunate. But in terms of the other prong of blighted, there's 3 definitions for that one to look out for. So it's vacant, but it also has to be either endangering the property values nearby it, which is the easiest way of defining it as a blight. If it's vacant property that's unused or is an eyesore, then it matches that test. Or if it violates Chapter 48 of the Nuisance Code, which is to say if you file a 311 citation, that is then evidence for us to say that it's a blight. And then the other is if it's just a danger to health and safety of the people nearby. So if you can identify dangers, then that would also give us evidence to use receivership.
I have a question over here.
So, in this case, we were talking about demolition. Does receivership involve things like remediating blighted buildings? And, energy-wise, environmentally, it's just a lot. And, some of these buildings are really beautiful, even though they have degraded. Can we fix them up instead? Is that like an option?
Yeah. So with receivership, there are 2 kinds of receivers. There's the receivers who are more like brokers, and the receivers who are rehabilitators. The broker is the person who then takes the property and then identifies someone to rehabilitate the property. And then there's the rehabilitator who is tasked with remediating it. It's not just demolition, it's actually fixing it up. In either case, the end result is the property being rehabilitated.
Okay, I think we might be at the end of our questions.
And might be sending you a list.
Yeah, we'll probably
Please
send
do.
you a list, and when you're driving out of here, just go down Wyandotte to Gregory
Yeah, take a
and check
little
out that
view.
building. Okay, Miss Kelly. Sure.
Really about him. So did I understand you correctly? You've been with the city for 3 months-ish. This tool has existed, but you're the one that really brought it to where it is right now, to activate it.
Got some
I just
fresh
wanna
eyes on the code.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. All right, that was great. I really appreciate your time and coming here, definitely. All right. So a little bit more of our questions have been answered. We'll definitely stay on top of this and be emailing everyone updates as we find out information. Just a reminder for folks who've come in late and they've brought food. I see the food is stacking up back here on the table. Thank you so much. That's going to help a lot of people. If you would like to be entered to win this fancy little library bag gift, please take a piece of paper and enter. Yeah, somebody back there can help you. Put your name in the hat for the drawing. And next we have Nancy. Oh, yes.
I just, we forgot to bring our bag of food, so I won't be entered in a drawing, but is there a good place to take food that will be distributed?
Yeah, Lenny, do you want to speak to that? I know Keystone is one of the places we were going to take our food to, and
So we were going to start with the food pantry boxes to just make sure that they're filled, and then go to the local pantries in our area, just to make sure that the food stays in our area here.
yeah, we're trying to keep it in Waldo, yes.
I've been made aware that the groomery on Warnell is accepting food for harvesters.
All right, the groomery on Warnell is accepting food for harvesters.
The groomery.
The groomery. Is that
They do
the,
the small dog rescue also in addition to grooming. It's the house on that corner on, I think, 77th.
77th
The
and,
gray house.
oh, Pampered Paws? Are you talking about on Warnell?
Yeah.
Pampered Paws?
Pepper Paws Grooming. the
Okay,
grooming
Pampered
place,
Paws is the
I'm
one that,
sorry.
that's okay. What'd you say?
I said Christ the King.
Christ the King Church also has a
Yeah.
food pantry.
It's right on 77th and Warnell.
All right. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to invite Miss Nancy up here to talk about some volunteer opportunities. And Jasmine. Jasmine. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't on that particular committee. All right, so I'm going to give you each a microphone. Well, actually, I'm going to give, who's the main speaker?
Well, I think.
Or maybe you can just take turns holding it. Thank you so much. That way I can have the other one for folks asking questions. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jasmine Brooks. I'm with Kansas City Public Schools. Dressed down a little bit today to come see you all on a Saturday. You know,
Yes, we definitely
but
dress
I just
down.
wanted to share a little bit about some volunteering. Miss Nancy has done a great job of just working with our students and our staff at Hartman Elementary. And so if you all are interested in volunteering and just being a part of our district, you may sign up online. I have some information that I can share out that can be disseminated to you all. But we just really appreciate our volunteers and the work that you guys do to love on your community, but also love on our kids. So that's really all that I'm here, just to put a face and to perhaps answer any questions. Yes. Hartman is about half a block from here. Yep.
Blocks, but they're at 81st and Oak.
81st and Oak. Hartman Elementary.
It's probably.
So for volunteer opportunities with the schools, are you mostly looking for volunteers who can come regularly on a schedule situation, or are there opportunities if you only have time to maybe help out once in a while?
That's a great question. So we are looking for regular and whenever you have time. We have programs like Lead to Read, where we have volunteers that come in and read to our students once a week. And then we also have just opportunities that, when you guys are free, to be a part of a field trip, to be a part of a classroom. On our website, on our volunteer platform, that is where you can submit your schedule of when you're free, and then the principal or our family engagement liaison, they can reach out to you to get you scheduled. So we have a combination of both.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am supposed to run to you with a microphone.
Read to the student, not teach the student to read.
Correct.
Just
read
reading.
to the students.
Okay.
For about 15 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes.
And this is supposed to help them want to learn to read, or?
So we just like to provide opportunities like one-on-one with our kiddos to get the opportunity to just continue to read more. So it's just like reading enrichment. So we have volunteers that really just work with the students, and they do it weekly.
Yeah, it's like an incentive to get them to read more.
It's a lot easier to read with an adult sometimes. It's more engaging, I think we find. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you all.
Thank you. I want to thank Jasmine for taking her day off to drop by and give support to Hartman and the volunteer program in the Kansas City Public Schools. It's really an important part of, it's really important to children's success when they're able to work one-on-one. And so the reason I'm here is to kind of give you a little sales pitch, because we're always looking for more volunteers. Tell me if you can't hear me. I'll try to speak louder. I want to thank Lenny Costas and also all of the association members for allowing us to come in today and be a part of your meeting. Thank you for that. We did bring a couple of brochures about Hartman, if you want some more information. And there are also some information sheets on the table, the sign-in table, if you're interested. I think you have one right there that you showed. Just some contact information and just a little overview of how you can become a part of Hartman Elementary School. I am a retired Kansas City public school teacher. I was a kindergarten teacher, and I was also a special education teacher with an emphasis in learning disabilities, and I taught in the district for 34 years. But now I'm a volunteer at Hartman, and we've had a group of volunteers that started in 2011, so that was about 15 years ago. Actually, I have to say, Lauren Weinhold, sitting over here, was one of our early volunteers, and we helped the same teacher, I think. Yeah. So it's currently, we have about 15 volunteers that are active right now at Hartman, tutoring students in grades, kindergarten through third grade, and then we do have a couple of tutors who are working with fourth graders and fifth graders. They have tended to follow their student. Like if they worked with them in third grade, then they want to keep working with that student and come back another year and maybe another year after that. We do find that tutors often spend more than just an hour 1 day a week. They want to come 2 days and work with more kids. It kind of grows on you once you get started. So we have 15 that are active right now working with students one-on-one. Some of them are retired. There's a few that are still working, and they managed to come in during their lunch hour or something like that. Some were teachers, but that's not a major requirement. That's not a requirement at all for being a tutor or a volunteer. The most important thing is your desire to become a caring adult role model for a young student. That is really the most important thing that we want to do. And the most important skill that you can bring if you want to be a tutor or make a difference in a child's life is to be a good listener. I just want to say there are some times when I go to work with my student and something has happened that day, something in the classroom, maybe they've gotten in trouble, maybe they had to miss recess, maybe they had to go talk to the principal, Dr. Kirksey. And sometimes all we do is sit and talk about that, about what happened and their feelings and just listen and accept what they have to say. We want to be non-judgmental. We want to be friendly and encouraging and just a supportive presence for that child so that sometimes it's the best thing that happens to them all day. And they're always so glad to see you when you come to the door. And everybody else raises their hand, can I come? Can I come too? So it's just a wonderful experience. The children get a lot out of it, and I think the tutors may get more out of doing something like this. So what our tutors do, and I think Jasmine addressed this, they come 1 day a week. They work usually with one student, and they may work up to an hour, depending on the age of the student or the attention span and the interest of the student. So it's flexible, depending on the student, and also the tutor works with the classroom teacher to find out what academic skills that child needs, and it's always reading, mostly. So the tutors will help them with reading and other schoolwork that the teacher might send, like math or writing projects. But in the end, the first priority is that relationship that you establish with the student. And I don't want to say academics come second, but first you've got to have, the trust and that rapport with the student before you can make any progress academically. So we do have other volunteers that help with activities, just kind of on a one-time basis, as Dr. Kirksey might need help with this or that. One thing is we always have a group that comes on opening day and greets the families as they come in to find their classrooms. We serve lunch to the staff whenever there's a parent-teacher conference day. And we also have volunteers that help with Girl Scout projects. That's a part of the after-school program. It's called LINK. And that's when the Girl Scouts meet and work on different badges and things like that. We usually do something every year around Earth Day with those Girl Scouts. And if you drive by the school, you'll notice there are some little gardens here and there. We also help with gardening. And the Girl Scouts have planted many, many native plants. We have a butterfly garden that's within the courtyard inside the building. And let's see, we just serve lunch, and I did just mention gardening, and then whatever else Dr. Kirksey might need. I think one time we painted one of the walls in the library, and it had to be a certain shade of red. It had to be Target, the red Target sign, because Target, I think, funded the addition of that library at the school. So we had to go around to Sherwin-Williams and other places and try to match this color from a photograph, I think, that we took of the wall. But we did find the right color eventually, and we got that wall painted. So there are just little things like that come up that volunteers can help with. So if you think this might be something you're interested in, we would love to have you. If you'd like to take a tour of the school, you can contact me, and we will set that up for you, and you can see the building in action and meet the wonderful principal, Dr. Kirksey. She has been, I can't tell you how long she's been with the district, and everybody keeps saying, well, I thought she retired, but no, she is still there. And I'm not going to tell you how old she is, only I don't think she would care if I did. But she is wonderful, with the students and the staff. And it's just great to be in the building, and all of the volunteers are dearly welcomed. So that's all I have to say. I'm sorry I did kind of run on, but if there are any questions, you can talk to me after the meeting or... That's a good question for Jasmine. We do try to, we get our tutors together at Hartman, and we do some, we share materials and activities and ideas and things like that. And there have been training programs in the district. So did you want to say something about that?
We do have a brief training. Whenever you sign up online in Galaxy Digital, there's like a code of conduct that shares all the information of how to conduct yourselves, how to check in, things of that nature. Every school is different when it comes to how to navigate in the building. And so whenever you are in your particular school, that is where you'll know like some of the nuances. So who your particular contact is, where do you put your badge, or where do you put your sign-in sheet, things of that nature. But the general training would be online.
It would be online. Mm-hmm. So is there something scheduled for the online training? Is that coming up? Or how do they access that?
The training, I say it loosely because it's online and it's good for 1 year. So once you make your account in Galaxy Digital, which is our volunteer platform, it'll have you sign waivers to just kind of go over best practices. So the only way that you can do the training would be if you make the account in Galaxy Digital, and it's good for 1 year.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming by. Thank you. Volunteering feels good. It actually, helps your brain, and you feel good, and I use it a lot for that reason. I actually volunteer at Lakeside Nature Center lately, so I've been taking care of animals. Okay, so Tiffany wanted to give a little bit of an update about some potential changes to our city code. As we were talking earlier, our city code is like our Bible when it comes to development, and if you make changes to it, it's pretty permanent. It's very hard to reverse any changes that are made, and those changes can affect you in your house. So she's got some information on some new changes coming.
Good morning. My name is Tiffany Moore, and I am one of the at-large board members here in Waldo Tower for about 45 more days, and my term is ending. I am here to let you know that the city is currently contemplating an amendment to the short-term rental policy. This is something that I've been involved with since the early stages, and I'm extremely passionate about it. Happy to answer detailed questions afterwards, but I want you to be aware there's an ordinance number. I think Angie's maybe going to send something out as soon as I get it to her. The ordinance number, if you want it, is 250965, and it is contemplating changes to the short-term rental policy to expand opportunities during the World Cup. Originally, this was going to be quite broad, which had a lot of us very, very concerned about housing stability in the city. They have pared that back a bit, but I am not confident that there won't be continued advocacy to broaden this. Currently, it has been introduced at City Council this past Thursday and is slated to be on the Neighborhood Planning and Development Committee hearing docket for Wednesday. It's really important to make that super clear. Tuesday is Veterans Day, so instead of skipping committee hearings this week, they are pushing them back. So the Tuesday hearings are going to be held on Wednesday of this week. It would be really great if a lot of neighborhood folks could say, this is super important to us. So I'll give you a highlight and then we'll share more details later. We've long talked about the benefit to people who own and occupy their residence to be able to benefit from something like the World Cup. Not just a regular event, but something that massively exceeds our hotel capacity in the region. If you want to rent your own house for a whole bunch of money during the World Cup, great. And here are the rules and regulations. This is how you can go about that. But expanding that more broadly to include rental properties and apartment buildings is very concerning. So we're watching this very closely. Some of that language has been pared back in the introduction from Thursday. I just think we need to keep all eyes on this to make sure that commercial lobby doesn't come back and try to expand it again. So 250965. We'll share some detail by email, but that is on the docket this Wednesday at Neighborhood Planning and Development.
So you're opening the neighborhoods back up to short-term rentals during this because I thought that the problem with the short-term rentals in the residential neighborhoods was that there were assumptions sometimes that it's not the only one on the block, but that everybody else is owner-occupied housing, and this one seems to want to think that they can just do whatever the heck they want to do.
So I want to be very clear. I'm not doing anything, because if it was up to me, this wouldn't be going forward. So the concern at a very high level is that we don't have the capacity for the turnout for World Cup. The advocacy and the position that myself and a lot of other neighborhood leaders are taking is that's fine, but we have to make sure that doesn't impact the people who live in Kansas City, whether they own their home or they rent it. However we're going to resolve the short-term housing for World Cup needs to make sure it doesn't impact neighborhoods. So the idea is that whatever expansion is allowed, if that includes allowing more people to rent their own home as a short-term rental, that is limited to the duration of the World Cup and they can't continue. Enforcement of that, I think, will also be something to watch very closely.
Is there funding available for any improvements to your home because of this?
No. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And we would have more information if they would give us more time, but they don't. They don't give us time. And then they move the meetings around so you don't know when to go. So that is the nature of city business. Okay, last but not least, John Sharp is here to give us some updates about what he's up to in South Kansas City. John. It's this tiny microphone.
It sure is. Thank you, Angie. I'm John Sharp. I'm head of the South Kansas City Alliance. Sorry I was a little late this morning. I got about halfway here, and then I remembered we were supposed to bring food, so I had to double back and go to Aldi's. But it's great that your association is so active, because you certainly are one of the most active ones in South Kansas City. I did want to mention a meeting that we're having Monday night at 6 p.m. at South Patrol. And as you know, South Patrol is just south of Bannister on 9701 Marion Park Drive, and it's between I-435 and 71. There's a light there, and we meet in the front building. We always have a good crowd, and we've got the mayor coming out to speak. And the mayor has agreed to take comments and questions from the audience. So, you know, he's pretty busy, and when we have an opportunity to get out here and talk to him individually and have comments, I think it's sure worth taking advantage of. So we'd love to have some of you there. And then also, we're having Donna Payton come out and speak, and she is vice chair of the Jackson County Legislature, and she's going to talk about the transition the county's going through, which you've all read about. They're transitioning to an elected assessor, although that election won't be until 2028. But I, for one, will be very happy to see an elected assessor that's accountable to the people. So we can hold them accountable to get affordable and accurate assessments, because we sure didn't this last time around. And it has really put a lot of people my age in jeopardy when you're on a fixed income and suddenly you have those huge increases in your property tax, and some people are going to have to sell their homes and move into apartments or risk, you know, if you don't pay your county property taxes, they can seize your home and sell it on the courthouse steps. So I can't imagine how you could have botched up this last assessment process anymore, but I assume you could have. But at least I'm glad that we're getting that corrected. So we'd love to see you that night. And we had, speaking of helping school districts, I live in the Hickman Mills district, and we had our annual gala last night at the Armacost Car Museum in Grandview, and we raised money for student scholarships for Ruskin seniors, and we give about 25 to 30 scholarships every year, and some of these kids are so impressive, and a lot of them come from some pretty rough circumstances. And yet they're still excelling in school and giving back to the community. And a lot of the young people we give scholarships to are the first in their family to ever go to college. And then my son, State Representative Mark Sharp, and I, we also fund scholarships ourselves, matching scholarships. And we give 2 in my name every year to kids involved in student government or community service. And we give 1 or 2 every year, depending on the number of applicants, to students involved in the same things my late stepdaughter was. She, unfortunately, was a murder victim 25 years ago, her senior year at MU, and we try to keep her memory alive. So we give scholarships to kids that are involved in band or cheerleading or volleyball the same way she was. But I just wanted to mention those things, and thank you so much for everything you all do. And I've got some telegraphs back here. We've got an article on the front page about that vandalism that took place, you know, on the memorial there at 75th and Warnell. But also, there's an article about, you know, we've got another curbside leaf and brush pickup coming up, and we've got the schedule on that. So that would be something to sure take advantage of. But thanks for everything you do, and thanks for letting me say a few words.
I have a question right over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us what time is that meeting on Monday night at South Patrol?
6 o'clock.
Thank you.
And we generally run till about 7:30 or so. But we always have a good crowd, and this will be an opportunity. The mayor hears from people all over the city about their needs, and there are a lot of other areas of the city that sure aren't hesitant about informing him of their needs. We need to inform him about our needs, too.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Don.
Angie.
Have a great weekend. All right. Well, it's always fun having our meetings. And this is the fun part, too, because I'm going to give this away. Oh, I need my names. Did everybody enter this drawing? Just last chance to enter the drawing.
I did have one question about this vandalism of the Waldo thing.
Yes.
It mentioned that it was so much, but it's actually gonna be so much more. So are you all taking donations for this?
So I don't know if you read the email that we sent out. We did put this on our website. We sent an official statement to the mayor, to our council members, to the city manager, and we copied the Waldo Business Association because we're assuming that was a lot, some of the planning that went into that. We did not know they were going to put the thermoplastic logo in the intersection to begin with. We have never been presented with that as an option for the streetscape project. And I was one of the original streetscape project attendees, like back in 2015 is when we started that planning. So the logo was put down, as you guys know, immediately defaced. It was a $37,000 applique or whatever. And then it'll probably cost another $37,000 to put it down, which we, as a board, just said that's just too much. We can't justify that when we're basically painting a bullseye in the intersection for more vandalism to occur. We have a lot of folks that use motorcycles around this neighborhood that don't like the grooves in the ground. So we did make a statement saying we just did not want them to replace it. We would just as soon them reallocate that funds if possible to doing some other infrastructure repairs in our neighborhood. Also, I know there's an art installation being planned for right in front of Kokoromaki, I believe. It's going to be this big light display thing. So I don't know if that is going to count towards the art, but we did say, art for especially with FIFA coming, but nothing that could be destroyed because that's just too much money to throw away. So, yes.
Has the thermoplastic material been damaged, or is it just covered with rubber?
Frank, do you know if it's completely destroyed?
The city is saying it's destroyed.
It's destroyed, so they wouldn't be able to just clean it. Yes.
Okay, well, we missed a big opportunity when we had our, whatever they call it, circle racing. Not only destroyed that, but the parking lots were full, okay? I'm sure if we had police there and they did ID check, I'm sure there's a lot of people with warrants there. So that'd be nice if we could. Do we have a liaison with the police department?
So we technically are supposed to have a community interaction officer. Frank, do you know who that is right now?
Officer David and Dave. The city has restructured the way that they interact with the community information officers. They used to come to our meetings and would listen to whatever was happening in the neighborhoods and then report what was going on. That switched to a centralized meeting where we had to go to them to get the information. I understand that has recently now changed, that the CIOs are now coming back out to the communities, but we have not heard anything from them. We've heard of no efforts or communication from the police department to re-interact with the community. So one of the things that I did several months ago in April when we put out our statement about crime in Waldo was went and spoke to the Board of Police Commissioners. I spoke to all those representatives that are appointed by the governor, including Mayor Q is on that board as well, and I shared the statement with them. I plan to go to that meeting in the next 2 weeks to re-share our lack of police response here in Waldo, the not only increased crime rate here in Waldo, but the continuing crime here in Waldo, and I plan to share our dissatisfaction again. So until we can get the police department to come back in, there really aren't a whole lot of options for us to voice our opinion back to them.
Are we still way down in police officers right now?
Yes.
Okay, more money.
Yeah. And I do understand it took 30 minutes for the police to arrive to that street show. And then I saw another article that said a lot of the folks that come in from out of town from these street shows. So they don't even live here. And they must have found out about the logo and said, hey.
I noticed that they said they got some people on the stop sticks, and what's going to happen? Are they going to impound those cars? Are they going to actually hold those people accountable?
So I filed a sunshine request to get all the details regarding the incident, including body cams, cruiser cams, and a full statement of what occurred. So if and when I get that, I might be denied that request, I'll certainly share that with the board, and we can get that information to you.
Yeah, we definitely want to share that information.
See,
Okay,
they've
we have
never fixed the destruction from the Harry Wiggins sign at 77th and the trolley trail that was torn apart years ago.
That is technically parks and
Right, but I mean, if they're
a
not gonna
different
fix small
department.
things, why would they fix big things?
Yeah, okay. We have a question back here?
Not a question,
Oh.
just a statement. I just wanted to, I don't know how to.
Just talk to it.
Okay. So anyway, maybe you can hear me. So there are two CIOs, David Ferber and David McKenzie, but they have more than just Waldo. They've got multiple neighborhoods that they patrol that have a lot higher crime rate.
We do get emails from Officer McKenzie, but they're mostly just announcements of their meeting and the one that's coming up at the commissioners meeting. Larry.
I don't need.
Okay.
This is just asking for information. As far as the incident at 75th and Ornell, I haven't read an awful lot about it. How many people were involved, and when people say the parking lot was full, does that mean all those people were taking part or watching? I mean, is that the reason for
It was a huge crowd.
So
And you can get a ticket for watching.
How many people were there?
I mean, there had to have been hundreds of people there.
Witnesses have said up to 150 people were there.
150.
I wonder how many warrants were floating around. It's too bad we don't have the cops to enforce that.
Was anyone arrested?
At this point,
We're waiting to hear if anybody was arrested. That was the Sunshine request. Like, we also think that if it was a $37,000 logo that was destroyed, that is a felony crime. So, we definitely think that there should be a push for some legal action. The question is, are they going to even find the people that were there?
So I read on Nextdoor that the police response, it took 45 minutes, is that correct?
Yeah, I heard 30 minutes for the response time.
At 12:13 a.m. and the police were on scene at 12:40.
So 12:13 a.m. was when the call was made, and they showed up at 12:40.
The first call.
The first call.
Received at 12:13, and the first unit on scene was at 12:40.
So, that's better than 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's better than 45 minutes. Okay, so drawing. Let's do this. Somebody's going to get to take this look bag home, and who is that going to be? I'm not sure. This is Gin? Eska? Gina. I'm sorry. It looked like, I don't know why I was thinking Gin. Sorry. Gina! Congratulations! I hope you like everything that's in there. All right, so please come out to our happy hour, December 2nd, RSVP to info@waldotowerneighborhood.org, so we have enough food and drink. We'll be at the piano room. I was like, I almost said bar, but it's piano room. And that'll be December 2nd, starting at 5:30, right? Is it 5:30? Come at 5:30. All right. All right, thanks for coming out, everybody. This meeting is adjourned.
Are you going to send out an email on that one? Because I hadn't heard about that.
The happy hour, did